Good evening, everybody. FA Cup fourth round awaits for Norwich City. Anfield awaits Norwich City. Liverpool, Premier League leaders, Liverpool no less, await Norwich City. It's finished here at the Memorial Stadium, as you can see. Covers firmly back onto the pitch. Freezing cold, absolutely Baltic. We are in the minuses here in Bristol tonight. I've actually just gone round there to speak to Jakob Sørensen after the game. Put my foot kind of on the pitch, and it is now frozen, certainly around just inside. So I think if this game would have gone to extra time, it would have been slightly problematic, because that pitch is not in a great way at this moment in time. But nonetheless, Norwich City have done their job this evening. They've beaten Bristol Rovers by 3-1. They've progressed into the FA Cup fourth round. It's the first time they've won a third round replay in this competition since 1990. That was against fourth tier Exeter at Carrow Road. It was 2-0 on that occasion. I believe they've had 6, possibly even 7 since then. Haven't won any of them. And tonight they have come away as victors. But they did make it a little bit of hard work for themselves. Wouldn't be Norwich City if they didn't do that, would it? Let's start with the game. I think it was 7 changes for David Wagner tonight. He named probably a stronger team than a lot of us were expecting. Gabriel Sara was in there. Kenny McLean was in there. John Rowe was in there. There certainly wasn't the same night off that some were given in the first round, and that probably felt, to an extent, him sort of unleashing his frustration of the first tie and how the first tie unfolded onto this fixture, and ensuring that this time Norwich City definitely did get the job done, and also probably a willingness to go through to the next round. And that dangling carrot of Liverpool and Anfield is one, I think, that when you watched his press conference yesterday and heard what he had to say, that is one he wants to take. That's one he wants his players to take as well, and it's one that Norwich City will get in the next round, which is excellent news. And we'll be all travelling to the northwest on next Sunday, 2:30. So a nice, conveniently timed one, live on TV, I think. So that should be good fun. Obviously, the Klopp Wagner reunion. I'm sure there'll be a lot of stuff said and written about that. But yeah, 7 changes here tonight for Norwich City. It was cold, but I think you got the sense actually turning up here tonight that this was a crowd that sensed an opportunity. It was a crowd that believed there was a opportunity to progress past this round. They haven't done that since 2008, I don't think, and this was sold out. They had that end just down there, which is just newly been built. They actually got that kind of approved this morning to have more fans in there so they could sell more tickets. It was one of the biggest attendances that this place has ever seen. That was the sense of occasion and sense of pride on offer here tonight. And I think you got all of that energy and all of that intensity put into the first 20 minutes, where Bristol City really came out of the traps with fire, with energy, with intensity. They pressed high, they harassed Norwich, they really put them under pressure. There wasn't that same intensity from Norwich, and I think that's to be expected. And Norwich got caught out on a few occasions, not to the extent where they were conceding chances, but there was, just an intensity that Norwich failed to match. And I think as the half wore on and Bristol Rovers obviously took their goal, it was a set piece. It was cleared by Ben Gibson. Luke McCormack with a volleyed strike into the bottom corner really took the finish well, actually. And Bristol Rovers deservedly ahead at that point. And I think that was, a reward for what this crowd wanted and the response that they'd given, but also the game plan that Matt Taylor had conjured up in the opening period, because that pressing was really good. They nearly caught Ben Gibson out. They had one opportunity as well. I think it was Thomas who put the ball wide just before half time. They had the better chance in the first half, and I think Norwich were limited to 2 shots maybe on target, one being an Onel Hernandez daisy cutter that ran through to Cox in goal, and one being an almost audacious Sam McCallum lob that Cox had to tip over the bar. So those were the 2 opportunities that Norwich created, and really the first half was about survival, because I think if they'd have conceded a second goal, it would have been very, very tough for them then to come back. But for me, at half-time, and I wrote about it, there was a real stodginess to Norwich's play in possession, and part of that was because of the level that Bristol Rovers were at, but also I think we've seen this a little bit as a theme when opposition teams nullify that long diagonal pass that Norwich have from the side, where they like a McLean to clip a ball to Stacey or Yanulis, as it usually is, McCallum as it was tonight. Then that forces them central, and because a lot of their players funneled off playing off that ball, it doesn't half make it difficult, and they just look really ponderous in possession when they don't have that option. And Bristol Rovers did that well in the first half, and they played back 3, and that kind of helped kind of offload, and Norwich were unable to kind of progress the ball in the way that they would like and convert that into real opportunities. And again, partly that's because of what the opposition did, partly that's because of what Norwich did. It's a two-pronged thing here, I would say. And I think for me, it was a bit like, when is the Bristol Rovers drop going to come? Because to maintain the intensity they were playing at and the physical output that they were putting on, look, if you can maintain that over 90 minutes, you get through, brilliant, fair play. But for me, there was going to be an inevitable drop, and it was just about Norwich kind of keeping their heads, staying in the game, and then hoping that the quality they had on the pitch did drag them over the line, and that was the case. They scored really a fantastic time. Sam McCallum, who I thought was excellent tonight, actually, probably at points, probably for the first 60, 70 minutes of this contest, Norwich City's best attacking weapon going forward. Long throws caused issues. His crossing caused issues. His running caused issues. I thought he defended very well, apart from a couple of shaky moments in the first half when it came to defending his own box. It was a really positive claim for him, and actually probably shows what I think he's shown a little bit over recent weeks. When Yunulis was out for a period, and he was due to be on the bench today, but slight illness, stroke, injury, not quite sure. I didn't hear what David Wagner said on it, meant that they had to then take him out, and because they had to select basically from the group that had travelled, that meant putting another goalkeeper on the bench. So hopefully that clears it up, because they didn't have the other options here today to put someone else on the bench. But yeah, Sam McCallum was excellent, and he gets the ball on the left-hand side. He's actually, for someone who's a left-back, a real goal threat when he gets in dangerous positions. He's got a brilliant technique on him. He shifts inside to his right foot. It's a curling effort that hits the inside of the post. It comes back out, and Gabriel Sara has a tap in. And from there, you could almost sense 10% of the energy of this place just got sucked out, but also 10% of the energy in those Bristol Rovers players' legs just got sapped out as well. And it meant that they now had to come out from being quite pragmatic, and sometimes, you can gain extra amounts of energy from doing that. But they had to then come out and try and search. And when you do that, you leave spaces. Norwich were happy to sit in. And actually, the second goal comes from a corner. It's a corner that is cleared up the pitch. Norwich then flood bodies forward. I think Kenny McLean was involved. The ball eventually gets worked out to the right with Stacey. He puts a cross in that's collected by Cox. And I think it was Taylor, just a nudge on John Rowe in the back. That sends him down. Penalty awarded. Adam Eder then steps up. It's a penalty that Cox makes good connection with, but there's too much power on it. I think it kind of hits the top of sort of here on his hand, sort of spins and spins in the other corner. Massive stroke of luck, yes, but pivotal for Norwich City at that point in the game to stamp their control on it. And it felt really, yes, George Long had to make a couple of excellent saves from Evans, but more notably Chris Martin as well. But the longer the game went on, I think the less likely it appeared that the Bristol Rovers were going to get into this game. It felt like that impetus, that energy, that direction that they had starting the game in that opening 20 minutes had kind of dissipated a little bit. Norwich were quite cute and quite clever in possession, and they were able to get up the pitch a lot better, and were able to do that by waiting for Bristol Rovers essentially to come onto them, waiting for Bristol Rovers to commit men forward, and then exploiting the spaces. And actually the third goal, we see that comes from that, when Chris Martin tries to flick a ball around the corner to Scott Sinclair. I think what a combination that is, by the way. Tries to flick the ball to Scott Sinclair. There's a slight claim of handball. Haven't seen it back. Don't know. It gets cleared up the pitch, and it's a pass, I think, from Sarah into Fashnacht. Gets cut back. Kenny McLean on the edge of the box. Left foot. Brilliant finish. 3-1. Game, set, and match. And it was just a professional performance. And it felt like what could have been a really difficult night. And look, you can't hide away from the first 45 minutes. It was, for me, basically what we saw in the first game, in terms of Norwich being quite ponderous and quite passive and quite stodgy. And I've used that word a lot to describe them, stodgy going forward. And they were unable really to go and carve out opportunities at will and at the way that we would like and expect against League One opposition. And, for 3 out of 4 halves, and I think this is where Bristol Rovers can take immense credit, they have not just gone toe-to-toe with Norwich, but probably edged them in all of those 3 out of 4 halves. And I think the one that they'll really rue is the opportunity. I think it was Thomas, but I'm not sure. When he had a real opportunity, goal was gaping, edge of the box, just had to find the bottom corner, would have put Bristol Rovers 2 up, and this becomes, I think, a radically different tie in the second half. And he just missed the target. And I think if that goes in, woulda, coulda, shoulda, then this becomes a very different contest for Norwich City and a different cup tie in general, because at 2-0, I think it would have been an immensely difficult task for Norwich. There was a slight concern for Danny Bart. He went off with a hamstring injury in the first half. That's going to be assessed. He didn't look particularly clever, and I did laugh, but not at that, but laugh because Jakob Sorensen was back today playing in defensive midfield, and whenever he's on the pitch, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a curse. I'm not quite sure. He ends up playing it in central defence. So he had to do that, and for his first 90 minutes against Chris Martin, I spoke to him. He had a massive scratch on his neck, blood kind of on his ear, and really been in a contest. And I think you always know that you are against Chris Martin and the physicality that he brings. But I felt he looked really composed, really calm, as is his best quality. Really, kind of looked quite unflustered at most things and unflappable, and that was really evident tonight. Trying to think of other good performers tonight. I thought Adam Eder worked hard. There were a couple of really poor moments. Gabriel Sara put a ball into the box for him in the first half that he failed to control. There was a one-on-one in the second that he should have scored. Sara in a more advanced position. I think it's what we've all kind of been wanting to see, and we got a good look at that tonight. And I think you can see when you get him in the ball in higher areas, and maybe this is what Sorensen coming back can allow Norwich to do. He's so effective. He gets Norwich going. He gets them on the front foot. He injects so much quality into their final third. Obviously, the debate that David Wagner has got to weigh up is whether that comes at the cost of breaking up the Barnes-Sargent partnership that he's so fond of. But the quality that he has, the run that he's been on, 1 in 9 prior to tonight without a goal in 9 games. I think it's 1 in 13 is the run. For a player with his levels of quality and productivity, it has to be much higher than that. And that means Norwich City getting him the ball in advanced areas of the pitch. And you don't do that if he's playing defensive midfield and the ball's constantly going over his head. So for me, that is the secret, really. Get him up the pitch, get him in the right direction, and I think you will see Norwich City score more goals and look a lot more slick and effective as an attacking unit, particularly when games like tonight occur and it opens up and Norwich are able to exploit gaps. So yeah, job done. Professional second half. The quality shone through in the end. I thought, I've been really impressed with Bristol Rovers over the 2 games. Actually, there's been a real application and determination to try and do it. They weren't quite able to, as I said. I think in 4 out of 4 halves, really, they've been immensely competitive against the Championship side. And not just that, as I said, in 3 of the 4 halves, I think Matt Taylor will make a case that his side were the better side in 3 of those 4 halves, both at Carrow Road and also tonight as well. But in the point that mattered, where Norwich needed the quality, they were able to show it, and it sets up quite daunting but exciting, I guess, bit of a free hit against Anfield on Sunday week. So we're looking forward to that. Obviously, 2 big Championship games to come before then in terms of West Brom on Saturday at Carrow Road. Going to be very difficult, one of the best defensive sides in the league, but Norwich City should go there with confidence. They've been able now in 2 away games to prove that they can win and win pretty well and concede or limit teams to relatively little, although I felt they probably gave Bristol City a lot more in terms of clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities tonight than they gave to Hull on Friday night. And then Leeds, which is going to be really difficult. So feels a little bit season-defining. If they lose on Saturday, I think they'd be 10 points behind West Brom. That, for me, would be insurmountable. You're basically asking for a 4-game swing, and I'm not sure Norwich City are good enough to create that 4-game swing, and I'm not sure West Brom are going to allow that 4-game swing to happen. So that would be difficult. And then Leeds is going to be it's going to be hard a week today, isn't it? But hey ho, we'll enjoy tonight. We'll go back to our base in Stroud, I think it is, and we'll enjoy tonight before a long trip tomorrow to get ready to West Brom. It's absolutely Baltic. I can't feel my feet. I'm going to leave you. I'm going to love you and leave you there. Thank you very much for watching. And from a very cold Memorial Stadium, you can see it actually looks like a cricket pavilion there. I think I was expecting Ben Stokes to walk out halfway through the second half with bat in hand, but alas not. From Bristol, thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you back at Carrow Road on Saturday. Into the next round, bring on Liverpool.